Hello, everyone, and welcome in. It's Aaron St. Dennis at the FF Mad Scientist. Got Jesse Moeller with me at JMoeller05. We are here for NFL Week 14 Fantasy Football NFC Home Game Previews. How's it going, Jesse?
It is going good. Living on the glory of our Zeke turning back the clock 6 years and posting an RB1 performance. What a time to be alive. Let me tell you what.
I had him everywhere, anywhere where I needed a running back. And like I said, I'm at the point where I've blown most of my fab in most leagues. He didn't even get claimed on waivers. Like, I got lazy. I'm in like 71 leagues. With the exception of one or two leagues, I don't even do waiver claims anymore on Tuesday nights. I go through Wednesday on my lunch and I go, need this, need this, need this. He was still available in all the leagues. I think I seen him claimed once. So nobody wanted him. I'll take him.
After our show, I picked him up in the league too. Yeah, like that's literally what I did. I checked the waiver. I was like, oh shit, he's on the waivers. Let's throw him in the lineup. Yeah, he was like, all right, cool, this works.
I wish I had known that. What was it? Devonta Parker was out. Demario Douglas was out. I wish I had known everyone was out. I was at work when I found out. Otherwise, I probably would have put Hunter Henry in a few of my lineups, but I didn't. So yeah, I guess before we start the game previews, let's start with a game recap for last night. Excuse me. I meant to mute that, but I'm bringing up the tab, so the mute button did not work. All right. What a great game this one is. Patriots 21, Steelers 18. Steelers fall to 7-6, losing to back-to-back 2-10 teams. The Patriots now 3-10. Somehow we got two pretty solid fantasy performances here from these two shit sacks. Bailey Zappi goes 240, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Mitch Trubisky, 190 and 1 touchdown. He did add in a rushing touchdown, which made him useful. 8 carries for 30 yards. He was probably the best running back on Pittsburgh. He was. And moving on to that, Zeke, 22 carries, 68 yards, 7 receptions for 72 yards, and a receiving touchdown. So a lot of his production was in the receiving game. Didn't do much on the ground. Jaylen Warren, 7 carries, 11 yards, 4 for 29 through the air. Najee Harris, 12 for 29 on the ground, 3 for 19 through the air. So Mitch Trubisky had about the same amount of rushing yards as Warren and Harris combined. And yeah, there's that. Great. The receivers, Juju Smith-Schuster was the guy who stepped up for the Patriots, and no one started him. 4 for 90. Tyquan Thornton had 3 for 17. On the Steelers side, we had Deontay, goes 3 for 57 and was saved by a touchdown. 3 catches on 7 targets. That's lovely. George Pickens, 5 catches, but only 19 yards. That's awesome. Allen Robinson, 1 for 21. Calvin Austin, 1 carry for 12 yards and a fumble. So it was ugly there. The tight ends. Hunter Henry was the best tight end in this game, and that's just how we all drew it up. 3 for 40, but salvaged his day with 2 touchdowns. Pat Freiermuth goes 3. Another guy with a terrible catch percentage. 3 for 7 from Deontay, 3 for 7 here from Freiermuth. Tells you how inaccurate Trubisky was. And actually wasn't too bad. 22 for 35. It's not great, but it's, what's that? About it's not 50%. It's not great. It's like 60%, but it's not great. Yeah, it's enough. But so they weren't catching anything they threw to him. 3 for 18 for Freiermuth. 2-point conversion is the only reason he wasn't completely useless. Kickers I don't have on this one. I'll have to switch over. Both defenses were good, but not great. They gave you in the neighborhood of 10.5 points. What is your takeaway from this lovely showdown? That was actually kind of more entertaining than I would have expected for these two games.
Yeah, they hit the over in like the first half, which was wild to think about pretty much.
Zeke cashed the over on his first drive.
Yeah, he had the touchdown. But, I mean, with Trubisky, he's just a bad quarterback. And why his completion percentage is so good is because George Pickens had 5 catches on 6 targets for 19 yards. And if you look at his, like, basically how they deployed him, it was everything along the line of scrimmage. Like, they were using him as a gadget player. It was weird. I don't think the coordinator, either he hates Trubisky, which could entirely be possible, Trubisky's not good, or they just didn't know how to use Pickens in this game. Because it was the weirdest deployment of Pickens' skill set, who's good downfield, and they did the exact opposite of that. But yeah, it's literally Zeke. He had 30 opportunities of 32 total opportunities in that backfield. Like, that's insane. There's no one else to trust. So, like, if you have Zeke, you're going to be starting him moving forward. Obviously, he got there with the receptions, which, I mean, the limited skill position players, it's probably going to continue because Juju was back. He looked healthy, but outside of that, man, like,
Ramondre's out for what, 3 weeks? 2 more weeks?
He's got that. It's like an ankle sprain, so I don't know. I don't know when he's coming back. So, like,
who would have thought that Zeke Elliott was this playoff year league winner? Good God,
it's wild.
That's where we are.
Yeah, it's it's nice. But man, some of these guys, it's rough. The offense in general for Pittsburgh, 18 points, like they can't score again. It's just it is what it is.
Zeke, I don't think I really want to trust anyone. I guess it goes to show you that these backup quarterbacks can be desperation streamable. The running backs on Pittsburgh, I want nothing to do with. I'm not taking any Patriots receiver. I prefer to avoid any Steelers receiver. The tight ends are kind of downgraded here to Freiermuth is a low end one. I think Henry's a desperate. Like, I don't really want anything to do with anybody in this game except for the DSTs moving forward and Zeke. Like, it's pretty ugly.
Yeah, and I mean Trubisky's gonna be the quarterback for a while till the starting quarterback comes back. So like both these quarterbacks should be starting for the foreseeable future. So it could be ugly. Could be very ugly. But hey, congrats to the Patriots. They gave Chicago the 1 seed. They locked it up now. So congrats on that one, New England.
Good God. Oh, what did I do here? Damn it. All right. I was a little behind here, and I downloaded our graphics, but forgot to open our graphics. So just give me 1 sec here.
Oh, you're good.
I got to bring up the first one, and then while you're talking about it, I'll open the rest of them. Our first game will be, if I can ever get it up, Arizona versus Washington. I phrased that really poorly. Don't listen to that, ladies. Getting it up's not a problem. Arizona, Washington. What did I just do? Good God. All right, let's talk Arizona, Washington while I struggle with our graphics here, my friend, because it's not going great. We'll start with the quarterbacks here. Arizona, Washington. We've got Kyler again. I'm right off today, dude. I'm right off.
Such a life. We're good. Yeah. I can't even find the game. I'm legit.
It's not the game. Arizona, Washington is the 2 games I have left over. That's why it came up like that, because they're the 2 teams on bye.
That's why. I was like, dude, I'm looking and I'm like, I don't know. I can't find them anywhere.
Can I cut this and rewind like 20 minutes or something before I had a stroke? Sorry. I am having a hell of a time because I cannot find this week's graphics, and I don't know why they're not loading on this computer. Game previews, NFC, Buccaneers, and Falcons.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Now it loaded. It wouldn't load 10 minutes ago, so I tried to re-download them all, and then it loaded up. Oh. Yeah. I'm off to a good start. Yeah, Bucks,
we're good.
Falcons. We're good. This is an actual game. These 2 teams aren't on bye. They actually play. Let's talk about it.
Hey.
Baker, Ritter. We've got Baker, 10th best matchup. Ritter, 5th best matchup. Baker, for me, is going to fall somewhere in the mid-range QB2 range, 16. Ritter is 21. I do not really want to play Ritter unless I have to. I don't mind streaming Baker. What do you think while I fiddle around with my graphics and try not to give myself a stroke?
Yeah, so Ritter is going to be really low in my rankings. He hasn't scored double-digit points since week 7 for fantasy. So realistically, I don't know what you're expecting with Ritter. Even though it's a good matchup, like I just need to see it before I would even consider starting him. He's going to be my QB 28. He's down with Beathard and Zappy and Trubisky and those guys. So, who knows? Maybe he has a performance like them, but seems highly unlikely. On the flip side, Baker's QB 17. He's just been good. He's been solid. You can count on him. He's been dependable. Kind of the opposite of what we would expect from a Baker Mayfield season, but the last couple of games haven't been as great, but it's a higher floor, and I think he has a higher ceiling in this game. So I like him against Atlanta, and if you need to stream someone and you're desperate and you can't find a quarterback, I think Baker Mayfield is a fine play this week.
Yeah, like I said, I don't mind Baker. He's obviously not someone I really want to be streaming in single QB. Mm-hmm. Having said that, I'm sure there's somewhere where I'm that desperate, but he is not what I'd like to have starting as my QB1, and then I just killed my graphic. We're off to a solid start here, man. My computer's not having a great day. Not having a great day. I went to hide this stupid thing in the background and killed everything. All right, moving on. The running backs get a little more interesting here. We have 22nd best matchup for Bijan, so not great. Second worst matchup for Rachaad White. Having said that, Rachaad White, I imagine, is still higher ranked. Oh, he's not. I have Bijan at 9 and Rachaad White at 10. I think I'm going to flip-flop that around.
Yeah.
Bijan's
I'm
just
struggling
not
through the same thing.
great. I'd prefer Rachaad White here. But what do you think about these two?
Yeah, they're both top 10 for me. I have Bijan at 5 and Rachaad White is at RB9, but I think I'm going to flip them just based on how involved Rachaad White is in the offense. He's literally seeing elite usage. Like, he's just the focal point of that offense. Where Bijan, it's kind of hit or miss that the targets and everything's coming along, but you have these games where he just doesn't have the same like highest floor as like a Kyron Williams or CMC and stuff like that. So he's just a little bit lower, but he's a really good running back. But like last week, he only gave me 9 points. The week before that, 25. Meanwhile, Rachaad White's just the volume king. He's just getting checkdowns, getting opportunities, like 25 a game. It's just, and I'm much more confident in his floor than I am Bijan's in this game. So if I'm choosing between two of them, they both have not great matchups. I'm just going to play Rachaad White over Bijan personally.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really want to play any of the backups here. Tucker, Vaughn, Algier, Patterson. I'll stash Algier, but he's desperation play. That's about it. Receivers, fourth best matchup for the Falcons. The Bucs get the seventh worst matchup. Having said that, Mike Evans is still going to be easily the highest. I guarantee it. Looking, Mike Evans is 10. I would imagine next up is Drake London, who is at 27. Godwin is at 36, and I'm not playing anyone else. I'm sure I have Trey Palmer ranked, but it's down in dart throw territory at 64. So it's Mike Evans by a mile here, and I never thought I'd say that, but that's how I go. How about you?
Mike Evans' usage is awesome. He's freaking elite, like mid to high end wide receiver one each week. That's just what he does. I think I have him because the matchup's not great. I have him at 11, but I'm probably gonna bump him up a few spots. I have London is like a wide receiver 3 this week, but the Falcons have the worst wide receiver usage in the NFL of all the teams for fantasy. No team is worse for wide receivers than the Falcons. So realistically, like I don't want to start a Falcons wide receiver, and this includes London if I could avoid it. So if I have other guys in situations similar, I'm just gonna go with that. I have Godwin at like wide receiver 50. It's just been so hit or miss with Godwin. He just is not involved, and he's not really efficient either. Like last week, he had 3 targets. And then all the other times he's got like 3 catches for 45, 4 for 54. He's just not really doing anything for you for fantasy. So he's very much replaceable. It's really Mike Evans or bust with these wide receivers in this matchup, honestly.
The tight ends. 7th best matchup for Cade Otton. I have him at 14. 14th best matchup for Pitts. I have him at 13. So both of them are playable if you have to, but they don't fall as a tight end one for me. My, how Kyle Pitts has fallen off the map. Kickers, Chase McLaughlin of the Bucs has the 5th best matchup. Younghoe Koo has the 18th best matchup. I'm starting Koo as kicker number 9. McLaughlin's way down there. I'm sure he is down at I don't even have him ranked right now. That can't be right. Do I have 2 kickers from the same team in here? I don't have McLaughlin ranked, but that should just tell you how bad he's been.
Okay, I have him at 26, but yeah, like it's just
I could just be missing. No, it says I have him ranked. Where the hell is he? Oh, I do. I have him at 18. I just didn't see. Either way, not starting him. I don't mind starting Koo. The DSTs here, 9th best matchup for the Bucs. 18th best matchup for the Falcons. I have the Buccaneers at 16 and the Falcons at 20. I don't really want to play either of them unless I have to. Any disagreements with any part of that?
No, not really. I'm pretty much on board with you on those. I think if of all of these options were the kickers, defense, tight ends, the one I'm probably most likely to play is Buccaneers defense, just because Desmond Ridder and the issues he can have is like turnovers and offensive. But like outside of that, I really don't want to start Kyle Pitts or any one of those guys. So Kyle Pitts is tight end 13, Cade Otton tight end 14, but you kind of know what you're getting with those guys. There really isn't much of a ceiling, so like I'm just gonna fade both of them to tell you the truth.
Let's stay in the high-flying NFC South, and we will go with the Panthers at Saints. Bryce Young and Derek Carr, more likely Jameis Winston. We'll look at the matchups first before we discuss that. Second worst matchup for whoever plays for the Saints. It is the 18th best matchup for Bryce Young. My rankings have probably Bryce Young the highest because I think he's playing. Bryce Young falls for me at 25. Then I have, where do I have my Saints quarterback? Do I have both of them? Oh no, I have Jameis at 23. So I do have Jameis factored in. I just have him low. I have him at 23. Having said that, I'm going to move him up to 19, one spot above Jake Browning and 2 spots above Flacco and Ritter. And then Bryce Young stays at 25 still. So both of them low. Well, I guess Winston a low end, mid to low end QB2, and then I have Bryce Young as the number 1 overall pick. I have him as the QB3. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not good with Bryce Young. I guess Derek Carr practiced yesterday, so I don't know what's going on there. So
he's got a concussion and a shoulder rib injury. I don't think there's
so
any
I don't know.
plays.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised he even practiced. So, but yeah, ideally it's Jameis. I have them back to back where it's like QB 21, QB 22, with Jameis 1 spot ahead. But realistically, like it's really hard to trust Bryce Young in this offense. They have the worst skill position group in the NFL. So I'm not really interested in starting him. I am more interested in starting Jameis with the options he has and his skill set. Like you could take a flyer on him. As a QB2 and super flex, totally fine rolling out Jameis this week. But outside of that, I'm not confident in either one of these guys.
Yeah, it's not a great situation. Running backs. We have where the hell is it? Third best matchup for Alvin Kamara. Third best matchup for Alvin Kamara. 10th worst matchup for Chuba Hubbard. I guess that's who we're referring to as the RB1 in Carolina. I have Alvin Kamara as my 2 on the week. My next best one is Chuba, who's all the way down at 22. I'm terrified to see where the others fall in this one. Jamal Williams at 44. Miles Sanders is way down to the point I can't find Miles. Oh, there he is. Miles Sanders is at 39. So I got a high-end RB1. What did I say? A low-end RB2 low-end RB2 for Hubbard, and that's it. It's kind of scary. What do you think?
Yeah, Miles Sanders has been a disaster this year. Like he's just been outright disaster. In the last 2 games, he's seen a 36 to 32% target or snap share, and he's basically just not even seen the bulk of touches at all. So I'm not really interested in him. Hubbard, I have at what is he running back 26, and I'm fine if you need to take a flyer with Hubbard because he saw freaking 25 touches in last week, and that was his best game of the year. He was efficient. He looked good. Obviously, this defense is a little bit better for New Orleans, so it's probably going to be harder for him to get there, but I don't mind throwing a dart at him. And yeah, Alvin Kamara is Alvin Kamara. He's RB2. Fire him up everywhere against Carolina. He should have a very good game.
Right. Wide receiver. Eighth worst matchup for the Saints. 4th worst matchup for the Panthers. Olave is almost guaranteed to be my highest ranked when I look. It is true. Olave is at 16 for me. Where the hell is Adam Thielen? Adam Thielen, who was once ranked very high, is now 39. And those are really the only 2 I have ranked. I don't think I have anyone else. I have DJ Chark at 49. I didn't rank Shaheed because he's still injured. I have A.T. Perry at 61. So I've got me a wide receiver 2 and a wide receiver 3, and not much to see here in this game.
Yeah, I will say pay attention to Mingo in this game because he saw 10 targets last night. Last week. So I will say he's the one that could really just usurp Thielen in this offense just because they're trying new things with the offensive coordinator. But yeah, I have Thielen the second highest. He's wide receiver 34. He's like a flex, basically. It's weird. His usage is kind of dissipating. And Chris Olave, he's wide receiver 12. He's like a wide receiver 1 at this point. So I will say if you're desperate, you could take a dart on Mingo, but ideally you probably have better options than to target Mingo if you want to go desperation plays.
Tight ends. 24th best matchup for the Saints. 3rd best matchup for the Panthers. I think the tight end is Tommy Tremble now. Ian Thomas. Hayden Hurst is dealing with a lingering issue and will not play. I don't know if he'll ever play again. Taysom Hill is my tight end 7. That's terrifying. Then if I scroll down, I don't have a Carolina Panthers tight end ranked. I'm going to add their highest ranked one on Fantasy Pros is Steven Sullivan.
Oof, no thank you.
No thanks. So I have Taysom Hill at 7, and I have nobody else ranked, including the Saints tight ends of what? Oh, no, that's not true. I have Juwan Johnson at 27, and I feel like he should be unranked.
Yeah, agreed. We saw Juwan Johnson like, well, maybe take a flyer on him because they didn't have any wide receivers. Nope, he did nothing. So we're good on that. Yeah, Taysom Hilton's been like the tight end one in fantasy football over the last, I think, like 6 weeks or something like that. His usage is off the charts. It's really, you just keep riding him, and he's going to score. Going to get down the goal line, he's going to get those touches. He'll probably throw a little bit. He's basically just a utility knife they use, and it's working out. So we're just going to keep riding Taysom Hill in his tight end one overall campaign and see when it ends. I'm not touching a Carolina tight end. No chance.
Kickers, 13th best matchup for Pinheiro of the Panthers. 22nd best matchup for Groupie of the Saints. I have Groupie at 11. Pinheiro at 28, my third worst, so I'm not playing him. Of the DSTs, it is the 15th best matchup for the Panthers, 5th best matchup for the Saints. The Saints are my DST 4 on the week. The Panthers are 29. So pretty much if you're talking tight end, DST, or kicker, you can probably start all three Saints and bench the Panthers. Thoughts?
100% with you. If you're going that route, like, yeah, roll with the Saints defense. We've seen Bryce Young. This offense has been pretty much a disaster. And you can get them to get big plays, turnovers. Their O-line's awful, so he's under constant pressure. So it's a really good matchup for a defense. So totally fine with you on that one. Like, let's ride with New Orleans.
All right. Next, we will take this one, I guess. Packers and Giants. That sounds ugly. Even the graphic looks ugly because these colors are ugly. This one's going to be nasty. Jordan Love against Danny DeVito. Good God. Jordan Love is the 22nd best matchup. Tommy DeVito gets the 24th best matchup, so not great for either. Jordan Love, I'm sure, is way higher in my rankings.
Yeah.
He is QB 11 on the week. Tommy DeVito is 24, so he is desperation super flex play at best. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, DeVito's been okay for desperation plays. So if you need someone in desperation, you can roll with DeVito. It's probably not going to give you a high ceiling, even though he had one of those games this week, but he'll give you a decent floor just because he runs and scrambles. You just need not to turn on the ball over a lot. On the flip side, Jordan Love has found whatever it was that they liked about him coming out of college, and he's showing it off, and he looks really good in that offense. So I have him at freaking QB 7 this week, and that sounds terrifying, but we are rolling with Jordan Love, folks. So yeah, I'm in on Jordan Love this week. I think he's fine for you.
I am fine with that. I thought my 11 rank was a bit low. I'll probably move him up. Moving on to the running backs. 8th best matchup for the Giants. 11th best matchup for the Packers. These two are, so we got Barkley at 6, and I've got Aaron Jones. I don't even know if he's ranked because I don't know if he's going to play. Way down. Anyways, Jones is at 61. I'm leaning towards him not playing. I don't even know where the hell Aaron Jones is. Aaron Jones is at 26. I don't really want to play either Packer. Even if Jones plays, he's too much of a risk. Saquon Barkley is at 6. He is in Austin Eckler territory at 8, where the only reason he's not ranked as a running back 2 at this point is reputation and respect. At this point, I'm just giving them the rep for the rest of the season, and that's the only reason they even remain in the, the conversation for playable. He's my 6, and that terrifies me. I feel like by Sunday when I submit these, he's going to be more like 13 or 14 because I have no confidence in him whatsoever.
So he looks, the difference between him and Eckler, like he's making plays and looks really good. Like 2 weeks ago, he made that one-handed catch in the end zone. Like you still see the shades of the skill that he has.
His team just
with Eckler, it's just, it's like with Eckler, he just looks completely cooked. So I'm willing to give Saquon more of a pass. I have him at right now RB3, which feels really, really high. But I'm looking at the guys in that group, and it's like, do I move up Mixon? Do I move up Bijan? Do I move up Moss? And like, I don't really know if I want to. So at the moment, he's my RB3. It does seem really bold, but the volume and usage is just there. So we're just gonna ride with Saquon.
Receivers, 9th best matchup for the Packers, 23rd best matchup for the Giants. Romeo Doubs is guaranteed to be my highest ranked receiver in this game. If I could find him. I seem to be struggling today. Jaden Reed at 33. Dobbs at 29. I got to move that up. I want to move him up to 26. The Giants. Where is my first Giant? Darius Slayton at 54. I assume Wan'Dale Robinson is next. Maybe I've missed Wan'Dale. I don't know. No, I think as of now, I only have one ranked, and it's Darius Slayton. That's how bad these guys are.
What? Jalen Hyatt is way too high for me. He's 48 right now, and I'm like, what is going on here? All right.
I have Hyatt at 50, so you're not that far off. I have Reed also. What did I say? Jaden Reed at 34. I feel like I have Christian Watson ranked here somewhere. I just can't
Yeah,
find
isn't he?
60.
Is he actually? Is he playing or is he out?
I don't know. I have him
Yeah.
in 68, so he must be.
Okay. There's a post on Sleeper says he's out. Yeah, he says he's not going to play. I was like, yeah, that makes sense because I thought he was done for the year. But yeah, like
I
I
don't
have
think
Reed
he's
the
done
highest.
for the year. It's a hamstring. I don't think he's done for the year.
Well, sorry, I mean for like regular season, not like
Oh,
So yeah, for our regular season, I need to specify.
Gotcha.
That was the other thing.
So this week.
Yeah. So yeah, this week basically.
This week.
Gotcha. Yeah. So interesting enough, I have Jaden Reed well above Romeo Dobbs. I kind of want to switch them because I don't know why Jaden Reed came out to wide receiver 20.
I did the same thing. I had Jaden Reed 15 spots ahead, and I switched it because I was I don't understand why my rankings have him so much higher. He kind of feels like he's a boomer bust, but that's it.
Yeah, with Watson out, I think it's going to boost him because he's going to get like basically on the field the entire time. It's going to be him, Dubs, and Wicks. Basically, those would be the big three. And Wicks is going to get a boost, so he's a guy you could throw a dart at in best ball, and if he hits a touchdown, cool. For the Giants, it's like you're just throwing darts at these guys with Hyatt and Robinson and Slayton. I will say if I'm choosing between these, I'm not going Slayton. I've done that experience all the time, so I'm going to chase the boom game that Hyatt had last week, and then Robinson. So they're all kind of grouped together in that wide receiver 45 to 50 range, those guys. So it's just pick your one that you choose because honestly, I don't think it's working out for either one.
This one's kind of ugly. I feel like this game has more volatility at wide receiver than anything I've ever seen. Like you have no idea who's the best receiver on either team or who's the three on either team. It's all over the place. All right, tight end. We have third worst matchup for the Packers and the Giants. We have 12th best matchup. Doesn't matter. I'm not starting either, I don't think. My highest ranked tight end is Tucker Kraft at 20, Daniel Bellinger at 28. I'd prefer to avoid both of them unless you're desperate. DST, sixth worst matchup for the Packers. 19th best matchup for the Giants. Again, I don't believe. Sorry, this is kickers, not DSTs. Did I say DSTs? I meant kickers. Yeah. Having said that, I don't want to start either. I have Randy Bullock as my lowest ranked kicker on the week, and I have Anders Carlson at 18. Not great starts there. So we're sitting the tight ends. We're sitting the kickers. Finally, to someone we are starting, the Packers D gets the second best matchup. They're a start. 10th worst matchup, 8th worst matchup, for the Giants. I am avoiding them. Packers are my DST 9. Giants are my DST 27. So basically out of that whole little spiel there, what you got is start the Packers DST and nobody else.
Yep, I'm with you. If you're going to play any one of these tight ends, defense, kickers, like it's definitely the Packers defense. Like they have shown signs of being good and it's a good matchup. So I'm with you. Let's ride.
It is ugly. Let's move on to another game here. We have us, NFC North. The Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. Jared Goff, Justin Fields. I'm still on DST. Let me move up. It is the fourth best matchup for Justin Fields, who rushes for 100 yards on 80 carries against these guys every time. 17th best matchup for Jared Goff. In my rankings, I have Justin Fields at 8, Jared Goff at 14. I feel like it should be a lot closer. I feel like Fields is far riskier, but has a far higher ceiling, and Jared Goff is just kind of your consistent high-end QB2 here. Having said this, if I'm in a must-win, I think this one's situational for me this week. If I just need some guaranteed points, I'm going Goff. If I'm a big dog and I need to swing for the fences, I think Fields is your play here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. Detroit's defense has been a disaster the second half of the year. Like they are just struggling dramatically. So I feel it's at QB5 right now. Or sorry, QB6, and I have Goff at 11, but it's exactly what you're talking about. In his 2 games, he's even back from injury. Fields is running 18 and 12 times. That's an average of 15 rushing attempts per game. He's going against Lions defense that can't tackle anybody. It could be a monster game for Justin Fields. So, yeah, I'm going to roll with Justin Fields over Jared Goff unless you just need like a floor. Like I think Goff will give you that floor.
Yeah. All right. Running backs. We have 13th best matchup for the Lions. And Chicago, we have the 8th worst matchup for Chicago. Let's see. I'm sure the Lions are my top 2 ranked in this one. It is Jahmyr Gibbs at 11. Excuse me. A little sick still. Jahmyr Gibbs at 11. We have a big drop off here. Am I missing? Oh, no, sorry. Jahmyr Gibbs, I couldn't find Montgomery. Jahmyr Gibbs at 11. The reason I can't find Montgomery is because David Montgomery's at 12 right next to him. So I have them at 11 and 12, and then we drop down to Khalil Herbert at 34, Roschon at 36. I don't think I have Deonta Foreman. He's out again, isn't he? Oh, no, he's not. I have Deonta Foreman at 57. So I have the Lions with 2 top 12 running backs, and I have Khalil Herbert as what I say, a high end 3, low end 3. That's about it. Yeah. I think the Bears are far too risky, too volatile.
I think they are. Roschon did see that increase in snaps and usage and overall, so I have him higher based on that, where he's running back 34, and then it's Herbert at 41 and Foreman at 52. Yeah, but really, like, I'm not sure how Herbert and Foreman are going to flip-flop in this game. Like, I don't know how it's going to go. We'll see. But yeah, like, I have Gibbs and Monty as both top 20 options. They're usually in that range for me. Like, they're both just very good. They get a defense that's us. Like, you fire them up, no problem.
All right. Wide receivers. 11th worst matchup for the Lions. The Bears get the 8th best matchup. St. Brown is still my highest. He is 4. DJ Moore is 9. And it's going to be a mile to the next Bear or Lion. Ooh. Oh, my God. It is Darnell Mooney at 55. Ooh. And Josh Reynolds at 75, Khalif Raymond at 79. So this one has 2 top 12. It has Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's a must-start, and DJ Moore, who is also probably a must-start. And then absolutely nobody. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't know why you would pick anyone else besides those 2 in this game at wide receiver. You're just asking for just trouble. The floor is 0 with those guys. And Mooney's been okay. He's had some like decent performances, but like last performance, he had 1.6 fantasy points. It's just the floor is ridiculously low. So no thank you on those guys. But yeah, it's Amon-Ra's world. We're all living it. He's top 5. DJ Moore is like, I think he's 14, something like that for me. But I have confidence in both of those guys a lot.
Top 6 or 6th best matchup for Cole Kmet, 9th best for Sam Laporta. Laporta is my 4. Cole Kmet is my 15, and I'm going to move him up because there's no way he should be below these guys. Cole Kmet is now my 10. Cole Kmet is now my 10. Yes, Cole Kmet is now my 10, and Sam Laporta stays with my 4. Sorry. I hit publish here. Now my rankings have gone all over the freaking place. For kickers, it is the 16th best matchup for Riley Patterson on the Lions, 23rd best matchup for Cairo Santo of the Bears. I'm pretty sure I'm not starting either of them. Riley Patterson is 20 for me. Cairo Santos is 22, so avoid both if you can. The DSTs, Lions are 7th best matchup. Bears are the 20th best matchup. I'm cool starting the Lions. They are my 11 on the week. The Bears are 23, so avoid them. So start both tight ends, start the Lions defense is basically my end summary. What do you got?
Right there with you. The tight ends are good. They see the volume. They're exactly what you want. They're both top 6 options this year in fantasy and points per game. So, yeah, you ride with both those guys. The other ones, not so much. I'm not really interested.
Yeah, both of them were pretty good values, too, on the tight ends. Neither of them use high draft capital. I guess it just goes to show you it's kind of great or late with the tight ends. All the mid-range ones are injured and didn't really come through, whereas the high-end ones were great, and then all the 12th round or later guys came through.
Yeah, the mid-range ones are always just a disaster.
Yeah, they're
unless you're counting Hawkinson in that range, but it seemed like he was above them this year.
No, I think he went way higher. Next up, Seahawks, San Francisco. You in Seattle, or where are you?
Yes, I am. I'm like an hour outside of Seattle. I'm like southeast of Seattle.
Oh, all righty then. You should know this one. Seattle at San Fran. Got Geno against Purdy. Oops, clicked on the wrong button. 5th worst matchup for Geno. 12th best matchup for Purdy. Having said that, Purdy is my 9. Geno is my 18. I am firing up Purdy, I feel like I don't like him as high as 9, but then I try and look at some of these other guys
Yeah.
and I'm like, I can't really move
Mhm.
him. I think in the end, I'll probably move him down to 12. I like Love better than him, but in the end, he's probably still a top 12 quarterback. Geno's just a middling QB2, but I'm still playing him. What do you think?
Yeah, it's exactly that. We saw with Geno, I'll say in particular, like we saw the best that offense has looked all year against Dallas. So ideally, they just get the ball out quick, like they talked about doing against the San Francisco pass rush, because it's a nightmare, and this is where Geno just falls apart. So if they can do that, like I'll have more confidence in Geno. We saw how the Thanksgiving matchup went. It was just an obliteration by the 49ers against Seahawks. So I'm assuming the Seahawks are a good team. They're going to adjust. But yeah, Purdy, he's my QB9 right now, and that feels like a good range for him. Geno is, where is Geno? He's pretty low for me. He is, actually, he's 15. It's not too bad. So yeah, like you could fire up Geno if you're desperate at one QB. Just be prepared. He has a very low floor just because of how good San Francisco defense is.
Running backs. 5th best matchup for CMC, who's going to score 3 touchdowns this week, like I said. 5th worst matchup for the Seahawks, whether it be Ken Walker, who I'm not sure plays, or Zach Charbonnet. I'll get to that in a second, but my rankings are CMC's my 1. The Seattle guys, I have a ways down, so I must be leaning on Ken Walker not playing when I did this. Because mine programs in, like I said, my algorithm here programs in their status to downgrade them. So he is questionable with an oblique. I have Walker at 45, Charbonnet at 46. In Seattle, what are you hearing? Although Charbonnet is also questionable with a knee injury.
Yeah, his knee.
So that's why
it's
low.
It's rough. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with those two. I'm assuming that Walker is going to play. I'm not so sure on Charbonnet just because the knee seems a little
So
strange,
then
but we'll sign out. We'll find out more information.
Whichever
like my program has Charb out.
Whichever one of them does play, I'll be moving up into the RB2 range. Especially if it's just one of them.
Yeah, they'll get the nice volume. Like that's exactly what you want. I'll probably have them in like the where I have Ford, Madison, Singletary, like the low end RB2 range. Just
Ford,
depends.
Madison,
It's just it might go a little bit higher. We'll see. But yeah, CMC's the GOAT.
Yeah, I'm right in that range. Ford's at 24, Madison's at 28, Singletary's 35. So I'm thinking I'll probably move him up to more like 18 or 19. I have him a little bit higher if he plays, but RB2 range, that's a safe play, I think.
Yep, I'm with you.
Receivers back to back here. 6th best matchup for the Niners, 7th best matchup for the Seahawks. I have Brandon Ayuk at 14, DK Metcalf at 21. I feel like Debo at 7. I don't like that. Debo's getting moved down. I'm going to have
Debo usage has been really good lately.
I don't care.
The way they're using
Debo's too inconsistent.
Yeah.
So I have Debo. Yeah. I have Ayuk at 13, Debo at 14, DK at 21, JSN at 31. And I'm trying to find Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett down at 43 because I don't know what's going on with Tyler Lockett. So I guess theoretically here I have 5 playable receivers for at least flex purposes, but I prefer the 49ers over any of the Seahawks in this. So look like JSN starting to take over here, carve out more of a large role.
Yeah, he's been more involved. Like his snap usage has gone out, the routes and everything like that. They've gone up. I think last week was more of an exception where he's not going to see 11 targets just because Dallas struggles against slot receivers. So like we saw it the week before, they gave up 12 to Curtis Samuel on top of that. So I think that's kind of a thing against Dallas in particular. But yeah, he's very much cutting into the Tyler Lockett role. I have DK significantly above both those guys. So those two are paired together where like DK is 18, Ayuk's 19, and Debo is 13. Those are the big 3 you want to play. Like I'm fine starting those guys. And then it's really just pick your guy if it's Lockett or JSN because they're kind of back-to-back in rankings for me. So it's like if you want to trust the slot wide receiver, go JSN. If you want to lock in his big playability, then you go Lockett.
Don't mind me. I'm on top of my game. The glare is bothering me in my glasses. So I turned my light off and then I'm like, oh, this light's not here. I can move it so it's not blocking my screen at all. And then I forgot it's attached to my camera. So
of course, right?
Yeah, it's on the same tripod. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. And then my camera, I'm like, what's my feed side? Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, there we go. Tight ends. 2nd worst matchup for Noah Fant. It doesn't matter. You're not playing him. George Kittle, 17th best matchup. He is my tight end 3. Fant is all the way down at 31, and that feels fair to me.
Yeah, it's just no thank you.
Kickers. 12th worst matchup for Jason Myers of the Seahawks. 8th best matchup for Jake Moody of the Niners. I have Moody at... Well, Jason Myers at 23. Moody's got to be higher. He is. Moody's at 8. So Moody's a start. Jason Myers, I'm looking to avoid. My DSTs. 2nd worst matchup for the Seahawks. 10th worst matchup for the 49ers. The 49ers are still my 4 on the week. The Seahawks are not. The Seahawks are 30. I am avoiding the Seahawks this week at all costs. That pretty much is the sum of the end there. Start the Niners, sit the Seahawks.
Yep, right there with you. Like you don't want to go through with the Seahawks guys. It's just It could be very, very low scoring games from them.
Yeah, not great for them. Definitely not. All right, we got 2 left. Do you want NFC East or a mixed bag of AFC teams?
Give me the mixed bag. Let's go random.
You're going to regret that. Tennessee Titans.
We'll love this.
Tennessee Titans and Miami Dolphins. Bet you wish you had picked the NFC East. All right. Tua, 15th best matchup for Tua. Will Levis is the 13th best matchup. So middle of the pack. It doesn't really sway either way. Tua is he's my 4 right now. He's being moved down to 6 because I want Stroud and Lamar over him. So Tua is my 6. Will Levis is my 23. What do you got?
Yep, I'm with you. This is the thing with Tua. He gets a good matchup. You fire him up. So he's right below Jordan Love for me at QB8, but I don't know who I'm going to drop below, though, is the thing. So, like, they're back-to-back, which is interesting that I'm so high on Love this week in Tua, but that's just is what it is. He's played a lot better than Tua lately. So, yeah, Tua, you play with confidence. I'm not doing Will Levis this week. He is pretty low for me. He is QB26, and I'm fine just avoiding him because it can be very ugly for Will Levis this week.
I love having Tua in teams where I have to decide between him and another quarterback because it is so easy. Who's Tua play? Is it a good defense? Yep. Okay, sit him. Shitty defense? All right, I'm starting him. It's so easy. Yep. You don't have to guess. You know Tua's going to smash in this game. He's going to put up 4 touchdowns and 40 points because the Titans defense sucks. Last week it was what? Was it the Chiefs last week or something like it was good? Someone good. Jets last week maybe? Anyway.
So Tua played Washington, and then the week before it was the Jets. So, like, the Jets, you didn't play him, and then Washington, you did,
There you go. He knows. This guy knows. All right. The running backs. What do we got here? I forgot what game we were talking about. All right. I can't find either. There we go. The Dolphins running backs, 19th best matchup. The Titans running backs are the 23rd best matchup. I am going to be very high on the Dolphins, I'm sure. I have HN at 4. Next up, I have Raheem Mostert at 17. Derrick Henry at 19. Tyjae Spears, I'm sure, is ranked. He is. He's a low-end 3 at 22. So there are actually 4 usable running backs in this one.
Yeah, I think the issue with Henry is the low floor. In this game in particular, they could get blown out. So, like, you have to be very careful with Derrick Henry. So he's my running back 20, but that's kind of the risk in with him. Raheem Mostert's 19. Devon Achane is RB11. I kind of want to boost Achane up a little bit, but like I just really like the guys above him, so he'll probably sit there. It's just he just doesn't get the same amount of touch. Yeah, like I know you're super high on him, and I was like,
and the 3 above him are the guys I said will score a hat trick this week.
Yeah, he could go bonkers. He's been insanely efficient. I think in games he's seen over 10 snaps, he's averaging like 20 points per game. So like he's been very good. He's just like I've loved HN the entire time. It's just I probably need to move him up. And then with Spears, he's RB 33, and I might want to move him up a little bit because I imagine he's going to be more involved in this game than he has previously, just because of the matchup.
Wide receivers, 5th best matchup for the Dolphins, 13th for the Titans. Tyreek is my 1. No surprise there. Jalen Waddle is 15 for me. DeAndre Hopkins is 18. I'm not starting anyone else. I'm not even sure where my next ranked player is. I feel like it's Treylon Burks if he's still alive.
Oh, it is, yeah.
I
have Treylon at 75.
72. Shit, 72.
Oh,
I'm too high on Treylon Burks. 72. Damn it.
I mean, this is the easiest like game to decide. It's like you play D-Hop. He's a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. The Miami Dolphins wide receivers, you know what you're getting. They're both always top 15 options. Like, you just fire them up. I think I have Waddle at 8 and Tyreek Hill at 2 this week because Tennessee sucks against pass. So, yeah, we were firing them both up.
Tight ends. Durham Smythe is 29th best matchup. Chigo Conquo, 16th best matchup. Neither of these is in my top 16. Chig is at 18. Durham Smythe is 34. So I am not playing either unless you're absolutely desperate and have to play Chig. Kickers, 4th best matchup for Jason Sanders of the Dolphins. 25th best matchup for Nick Folk of the Titans. Sanders is my 7 and Folk is 27. So once again, an easy one here. These are a lot of easy calls for me, I think.
Yep.
DST, 8th best matchup for the Dolphins. DST. Titans, it's the 17th best matchup. This one, again, is going to be pretty easy, I think. The Dolphins are my DST2 on the week, and the Titans are 28. So in each spot, we have definitely start the Dolphins DST, definitely bench the Titans DST, definitely start Jason Sanders, definitely bench Nick Folk, and at tight end, we have definitely bench Durham Smythe, and we have, I guess this one's the borderline one. Play Chigo Conquo if you're desperate, but I'd probably prefer to sit him.
That's exactly it. Yep,
that one's a little easier.
Like that. Yep.
Good teams against shitty teams are like that. It tends to be very easy decisions to make.
It does work like that, yes.
Unless you're Pittsburgh.
And then, you're like, hey, guess what? New England looks good.
We will close it out.
Oh, yes.
With this bad boy. Eagles, Cowboys. Best matchup for Dak Prescott. It is the... Where is he? Oh, 16th best matchup for Jalen Hurts. Dak is going to be my lower... Oh, no, he's not Dak. Oh, 1 and 2. Jalen Hurts at 1, Dak at 2. And I feel like I might like to reverse that, but I think I'm going to leave it. Jalen Hurts at 1, Dak at 2. What do you think?
Yeah, I have that exact ranking with those two. And I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. I will say, like, Hurts just has the just insane floor with the rushing. So he always just gets the little edge over Prescott. But, like, Philadelphia's pass defense is not good. So expect a monster game from Prescott. That's why he's my QB2. Like, I'm all aboard Dak Prescott this week.
Yeah. To the other side here, we got the running backs. Worst matchup for Tony Pollard. 7th worst matchup for DeAndre Swift. So the running backs are not going to be nearly as highly ranked. My highest one is Tony Pollard, I believe. It is. It's Tony Pollard at 17. DeAndre Swift at 21. I don't know if I have another Eagle in here. I don't. Oh, I do. Kenneth Gainwell down at 47. So we have 2 top 2 quarterbacks and 2 low-end RB2s on my board. What do you got?
Yeah, I flip-flopped Achane and Pollard because Pollard was 8, and I was like, that's way too high. So I put him at 11, and I'm moving Achane up to 8. But yeah, like, it's him and it's Swift. Just the weird thing with Swift is you're just not getting touchdowns, and he's not being super involved. So it's like, yeah, exactly. So, like, look, last week he got 12 combined touches. The week before, 15. Like, he's been decent. It's just he's not getting enough work to really matter in fantasy. So I'll have Pollard over Swift like every week moving forward, just because he gets volume and he's just been in a better offense for supporting it. So it is what it is with Swift, unfortunately.
They outlaw the tush push next year. I'm buying Swift low everywhere, and I'm selling high on Jalen Hurts everywhere.
Yeah, if Swift's there next year, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, moving on to players we are going to play. Best matchup in fantasy football for wide receivers is CeeDee Lamb. 12th worst matchup for the Eagles, but I don't care. CeeDee Lamb is my 2, only because Tyreek Hill is number 1. A.J. Brown is number 3, only because CeeDee Lamb is number 2 and Tyreek Hill is number 1. There's a pattern here. Devonta Smith is number 12, so we have 3 of the top 12 in this game. Good God. I don't think I have anyone else ranked highly. I'm sure it's Brandon Cooks next, but it's probably wide receiver 3. It is. Oh, no. Yeah, it is. Okay, high end 3. I have Brandon Cooks at 26. I might have Michael Gallup in here ranked, but it's going to be like dart throw territory. It is at 78. So we've got 3 high-end wide receiver 1s here and a high-end wide receiver 3. Brandon Cooks is not terrible if you are desperate. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he's just been really good, and then he's been scoring touchdowns, which has been nice to see. So he's been efficient. I am curious. It depends on Goddard. That's the one thing. I don't think he's back. Or he might actually be back this week, so we'll see. So that might hamper Smith a little bit. So I have him at wide receiver 15, but like I can move him above DJ Moore or Devo and put him at 13 to be fine with that. But yeah, you have the big 3. Like CeeDee Lamb's 1, AJ Brown's 3. Like those guys are just locked in. And then Brandon Cooks, he's that wide receiver 3 with upside guy. You go to target.
He's traveling with the team and looks like he's going to play.
He's probably going to play. So, yeah, I'm going to move Devonta down a little bit.
But it looks like he was going to play for like the last 3 weeks, and I had him ranked that way, and he didn't. So we'll move on to that. 20th best matchup for Dallas Goedert. 11th best matchup for Jake Ferguson. I have Ferguson as 5. And I have, where the hell is he? I might have Dallas Goedert still inactive. I'm going to have to add Dallas Goedert to my rankings here. So having said that, I have Ferguson at 5. When I add Dallas Goedert into my rankings, where should I add Dallas Goedert to my rankings? I'm thinking
I have him at 9 right now.
I do not want him that high. I have Engram at 8. Freiermuth is locked in at 9. I have Cole Kmet at 10. Kate Otten at 11. I feel like he's going to slot in at 11 between Kmet and Otten for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That makes
where
perfect sense for him. Yeah, because like we don't know his usage and how it's going to be. So I think once you get to the more questionable guys like you're talking about, that's a perfect slot to just throw him in because the upside's higher with him than those guys. It's just, the floor's pretty equally low.
All right, and at kicker, we have a worst matchup for Jake Elliott of the Eagles, 5th worst matchup for Brandon Aubrey of the Cowboys, and I don't care. I'm playing them both. Aubrey is my 2. Elliott is my 6. They are must starts. They have been very good and very consistent for the most part. DST, worst matchup for the Eagles, 8th worst matchup for the Cowboys. I do not like either matchup. Having said that, it's kind of a respect thing. Cowboys still fall at 9 for me. Eagles do not get nearly as much respect and are down at 25. I have the Cowboys in play territory. I feel like they are going to move down to... Oh, that's a problem. I want to move them below KC, but KC gets Buffalo. Not really sure I want any part of that. The Jets get there's some ugly matchups, so the Cowboys are still play for me this week, but you're kind of hoping they get a touchdown here because this one could be ugly.
Yeah, I just don't see a ceiling with them in this matchup because Philly's offense is just too freaking good. So yeah, they're like top 10, but it's just you just put them there by default. Like you talk about, and I'm not playing Philly's defense. Like we've seen it how bad it's been with them, and they just have not been good. So yeah, they are well below playing for me. I'm just not doing them.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that is a wrap if we do not have any questions, and it doesn't look like we do. So check back Sunday at noon Eastern. We'll go up till kickoff with our live sit start show, and then we'll be back at 8 p.m. if all things go according to plan that night with the game recap. So we'll see you Sunday before kickoff, everyone. Have a good weekend. Take care.